So I'm just down in one of our little meadows down below the farmhouse. If you come camping at Southtown Farm, then this is one of the meadows you'll walk through on your farm walk. So we've been working with the National Trust to try and repair some of the damage done to this stream. So what's happened is, as weather events have got a bit more extreme over the last 10-15 years, when we get these heavy downpours, it's been gouging out this stream and forming these really quite deep gullies. I mean, I remember when the kids were little, they could play in the stream and it literally ran across the surface a couple of inches deep, 2 or 3 inches deep, and now it's in certain parts of it are set into these massive, decent sized gullies, and you can see that actually even now the banks are getting undercut and starting to tumble in, and there's an overhang there. So what we've been working with them is putting in these leaky dams. And really, to be honest, the National Trust have done most of the legwork. All the legwork, but they get all the consents that you need. They've got all the materials here. And then a couple of weeks ago, we had a work day with the National Trust, so all staff from all over North Devon and loads of volunteers came down and had a day putting in these dams. And there's 2 fields, so there's this field and then there's a field above the hedge there. And they've put in about 12, 13 of these log dams, and they are leaky dams because you've got to allow the flow through. So it's not to try and stop the flow completely, it's just to slow the force of the water down so you don't get the scouring. So you can see on this side it's pooling, on the other side there's a little bit more flow. And the idea is that they're leaky so that migrant fish and other aquatic life can move up and down the stream still. I mean, in this little stretch, the migrant fish is not really an issue because 50 yards down there there's a big culvert and a big drop about 12 foot. So we weren't too worried about that, but we do want other aquatic life to be able to move through the stream. So the idea is that these dams build up debris, take the power out of the water, stop the erosion. It gradually will allow the water to build up, and quite possibly in heavy flows the water will flow around the sides of these dams and take out the power of it, which will allow the field to absorb more water, take some of the stress, to hold the water for a bit longer, so it's allowed to very slowly release into the catchment. So it should help reduce some sort of flooding further down where it flows into the River Yeo. So it's really there, that's the idea behind it. They are only temporary structures, they're only meant to be temporary, very easily constructed from materials that you find literally all around us. So a lot of it came from that wood there, and they're just branches which are sort of tied together and form this little leaky barrier. So hopefully in a few years time this stream will be back flowing over the top, and we'll have a bit more marshland all around it, perhaps some older willow growing on the sides, stabilising the banks.